Hey everybody, Mr. Gordon here. This is the fourth video in the Bridge Builder series and likely the last video. In the previous three videos, we built a bridge, we made it work, and in the last video, we started shaving some of the price down by shrinking the pieces. Now, just by shrinking the pieces, we're not going to be able to get down far enough to meet our budget. The final step is using different types of steel for different pieces. And we do this last because this will only benefit pieces that are large because it's going to allow us to then shrink them, saving money. So we're going to start by sorting these pieces by size. So if I click up on the size column, we can see that all of our pieces are a different size. I have some as large as 340, some that are as small as 60. There is no benefit to changing the material of these smaller pieces because I will not be able to shrink them. So we're going to leave those pieces alone and we're going to focus on the large pieces. So I'm going to select any piece that is 140 or greater. All right, so these pieces are all larger than or equal to 140. Now, I may be able to include the 130 pieces, but I'm going to exclude them for the time being, and I'm going to work on these larger pieces. So I'm going to come over and I'm going to change them to the quenched and tempered steel. Now, that has to do with how the steel is hardened in the factory. And a quenched and tempered steel is going to be stronger. Now, when I change that, it significantly increases the price of my pieces. But what you're going to find is that we can go back. If we look at our ratios now, these were at 0.9 and now they're at 0.51. So now we're going to go back to that process that we were using in the last video, and we are going to shrink every piece that is at 0.6 or below. And I'm going to shrink and test and then go back. Double check my numbers. Some of them are up at 0.8, so I'm going to go back and sort by the force versus strength. I'm going to select, I'm going to start here at the 0.62. I'm going to select those, and I'm going to come all the way down here. I'm going to shrink and come back. We're already lower than we were before we changed our type of steel. And we still have a lot of room to shrink some of these pieces. So this is how this process benefits. I'm going to try taking the 0.69 and below and shrinking those. And you can experiment. You can see if it works. And in that case, they worked. So I was able to shrink some pieces that were under higher stress. Again, it's different because I changed the type of steel. All right. So if you were to change some of those with the regular carbon steel, it probably wouldn't work. So we can go back and forth, sorting our columns up on the top, looking for values that are, you could almost probably go to less than 0.7. So I'm going to select these. I'm going to shrink them, test, go back, check my figures. We'll select these. We'll shrink them. Oh, here we got an error. Now this is good. This is a slenderness error. This means that this piece cannot be made any smaller because it's so tiny, it's down to 50. It can't support its own length. So what we need to do is take that one and increase that one size. And we're going to have to leave that one alone. You'll run into that when you get some of these pieces really, really small. That was at 55. So we're going to leave that one from here on out. And you can just select your smaller pieces. So now I don't have a lot that are at 0.6 or below, but I'm going to select some that are at points. I'm going to take everything below 0.8 and I'm going to shrink those one size. And here we hit slenderness. So we're going to increase that one. And we're going to keep going and testing pieces. And those all withstood the bridge. And we're getting very close. We're down to 249,000. Now the goal is 225. So I want you to keep working and see if you can get your bridge less than 225,000.